Hey guys, it's M4J here, and welcome back to North Reef City here on City Skylines. Now, last time out, we built this new residential area up in the hills here. We called it Linden Hills, Hilltop, sorry, not hills, Linden Hilltop, which kind of made sense when you think about it. This week, we're starting off by building some parking up on this little roundabout section here. I've had this idea for a long time, if I ever built a city again, where I would have this like roundabout area with some corner shops and stuff like that, and then like a community area of sorts, so like a pub or a restaurant or something like that on the corner that everyone's going to be traveling to, and that's why the little parking's been built here. This seemed like a really good opportunity to actually bring that in, so I wanted to build a pub on this corner here for people to actually come in and use the parking for that mostly, but also use it for the surrounding commercial and stuff like that. I had this really weird effect. You saw there the pub just disappeared, and I added another one, and there you go, it just disappeared again. I didn't know whether that's because I didn't zone the area or whether there was something else going on, but it was really annoying that it kept doing that. Like really annoying. I think it's sorted itself out now. I tried to place it there where it had been zoned, but nope, disappears again. And then eventually I put one here which does stick around, sort of. I think it's either later on in this episode or early in the next. Something does happen with that one as well that we have to go back and change, but that's problem for another time, I think. So now we're sorting out the hills here. We're just smoothing the gradient a little bit more so it doesn't look like sheer cliff sides anymore. To be honest, when I came through and landscaped all this to build the square beneath, I didn't really think I was going to be building anything directly on top immediately. And then I kind of just made it up as I went along. Ended up building directly on top. And now I'm going through and trying to like retcon it basically. And actually make it make sense. That's the long and short of it, to be honest. It's just one of those things, I suppose. But yeah, we add some more housing up on this little bit here. One thing I was going to do, I think George told me there's a mod called Zone This, I think it's called, where you can choose whether or not a road has zoning or not. I think I might go through where these tree-lined avenues are and actually de-zone them so that I can't put houses on them by mistake. And then all of the buildings that will spring up will be on the smaller roads, which is kind of what I want, which is exactly what I want, to be honest. And then that way, don't have to worry about these weird, like one tile residential zones or commercial zones, whatever it might happen to be that time around. Build these little junctions here as well. I'm a really big fan this year of not just having these really random junctions and actually making them work. So this one here, you can see there's the little filter lane, so that you're not going right up to the end and then like doing this weird turn maneuver to then go right or left if you're turning into the residential area. Also with the timed traffic lights, I think I've got them all down. It'd be cool if there was a button that tells you during a cycle if there's a light that hasn't been given like hasn't switched at any point. So if it's red throughout all stages of the cycle, then it should flag it, just so you can make sure that all of your lights are in fact switching during the cycle itself. So I'm going to do something that I haven't done for a while on this channel now, and that is I'm going to let the music take over for a little bit. So you're going to see me messing around with this roundabout up here, trying to add another junction, which I believe I do manage to do in the end, and I've still got plans for a fifth on-off from this roundabout as well, so it's going to get very busy very quickly, but I think it's going to be fine still. As I said, this roundabout is basically the linchpin of this community. There'll be schools near it, fire stations, shops, pubs, restaurants, all that stuff. Why did I say that so weird? All that stuff, you name it, it'll be here basically. So watch me mess up this roundabout over and over again. You can see here I'm having some trouble with this side of the junction as well. And yeah, I'll let the music take over for a bit and we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about what's going on in a sec. So yeah, getting this roundabout to work with the line intersection marking tool was troublesome, shall we say. Very, very troublesome. To be honest, the majority of it worked fine. It was just little sections, which you will see. I've got like a sore throat and stuff today, by the way, sorry. By the way, just to let you know, so sorry in advance if I'm constantly clearing my throat. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, you can see like the way the nodes have shifted here. You can see I just give up on it in the end because it was impossible to get it just to work for one or two. And if you can't get it to work for all of them, then you might as well not bother with any of them. We put a windmill there in the center as well. That will get switched out with something else in the future. I just wanted to build something there for now. And I think there were buildings complaining about power. So it made sense just to do that as a filler. I want to put maybe like an old school windmill in there in the future just to really make it look nice. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And then, yeah, upgrade the roads. It looked like I missed one there. I might have to go back and check that actually. But yeah, upgrade the roads, add these other roundabouts in, turn off parking. Get the line... get the nodes sorted first. Then we get the line intersection tool out. Actually, do we for that one? I don't know if we do. I think these ones we just let them wing it. And do it how they see best. Sure. And then, yeah, just twiddle the numbers here to make these nice and smooth. There we are. Just making sure they're all the same size. And yeah, as I said, this is like proper suburbia, this part of the city. You know, we're not really near the city centre at this point. Reef Square looks like it's the city centre, but I promise you it isn't. It's just a built-up part. I did go and... Again, I think that's the second part of this video, so I don't want to give too much away. But I did go and allocate it as a leisure area. I think it worked. A lot of buildings disappeared when I did that, though, which made me a little bit nervous. But I think they have since popped back, which is good. But yeah, it was just... to make it official, really, to make it officially the leisure area of the city. And I'm starting to look at transport, which again is next episode, not this one. But I am starting to look at transport now. And I said I wasn't going to look at transport until the city reached a certain stage. We're not at that stage yet. Even after next episode, we're nowhere near that stage. But we're starting to reach that stage. And that's why I started to look into it just a little bit more. To see if there was anything that I could do. I've got some ideas. You'll see one of them being implemented next week. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. So you might have noticed the first episode of this series was on a Wednesday, and the second episode was on a Saturday. It was meant to be Friday, but ended up being Saturday. Basically, I'm alternating this series with Railroads Online and OpenTTD. So this week there's no Railroads Online, so it goes up on the Wednesday. Next week there is a Railroads Online. I'll be streaming it around 6, I believe. So it'll go up on the Friday instead, and it will go up instead of OpenTTD, which is going up this Friday, but it's not going up next Friday. It might sound a little bit complicated. Trust me, it makes sense in my head. Basically, whenever there's no OpenTTD, there'll be a City Skylines. Whenever there's no Railroads Online, there'll be a City Skylines. Now, it does mean that I'm having to work double time to get these videos done. Basically, every day after work at the moment, I'm sitting down and recording either this or Transport Fever. The great thing about doing it as a time lapse is there's no pressure to get it all done in one go. I can take my time, and it's just better. To be honest, it's just better. Now this parking, yeah, it causes me a lot of problems. Even after fixing it next time around, it still causes me a lot of problems. Basically, oh yeah, I did mess that up. When I rebuilt it, I looked at the lane markings and thought, why is there no straight on there? But I did that from the get-go, apparently. I didn't actually sort it out properly. We're into the second half then. There was meant to be a nice smooth transition there, but I messed that up. And we're starting to look at this side of the city and what we can do here. Now, we've got a huge demand for industrial. And one of the ways I want to deal with that is by adding in some offices and build like a, not a business park, but like a, I guess it is kind of like a business park. I'm trying to think of the word they use. They have like Discovery Park and Science Park these days as well. Like a series of offices is what I want to build here. And all of this area that you see here is going to be an extension of Reef Square. which makes me realize that Reef Square as a district name is probably not the best. So I might go through and rename that at some point, but keep the square's name, like the park's name, the same, but rename the district. What I'm going to rename it to yet, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, this whole avenue here, pretty much up to this bridge, is going to be the same district. The districts in this city are huge. The ones in New Guard City were tiny in comparison, and I feel like that was a mistake. Oh yeah, look at this up and down nonsense as well. Thankfully, we've got a nice little button in Move It that fixes this for me. And there it is. Yeah, I feel like the district sizes in New Guard City were a mistake. They were way too small. Now, I know in cities like London, you've got areas like, Soho and Covent Garden and Leicester Square and Trafalgar Square, where the actual landmark itself, or the area itself, and then sort of the surrounding 2 or 3 streets are all classed as being part of that area. But ultimately, they're all part of a borough. And that borough is the one that these districts are supposed to represent. So some reworking would have been required had that city continued. But because we've got a clean slate here, blank canvas, I thought, why not actually just from the get-go do it right this time? So the districts are a lot bigger. They're also going to be a lot more well thought out and a lot more planned. We're not just going to say like, this one's more residential, this one's the old town, or anything like that. Each district, in theory, can have an old town. It's just how you plan it out, basically. I was trying to work out how to remove nodes. I could have sworn there used to be a way where you could remove nodes. Couldn't find one. I'm sure there is one. So I had to sort of by eye straighten out these streets to get them to work. This is basically a duplicate of the road that we have down at the other end of Reef Square, where it joins up right at the waterfront. Tried to make this as similar as possible without making it identical, because we want, again, each junction, we want it to suit its own purpose. We don't want it to exist just because it looks like another one. So we do come through and we fix it all here and we make it look nice, we make it look pretty, and then we add the intersection markings and things like that. Now those I was going to copy, but I think because of the road style we use, that wasn't possible for one of them, so I had to redo it by hand. But the other one I think does work, so that's fine. Now this roundabout you see me build here, I do go and build a straight on road. Again, you'll see that in a second. There it is. For traffic that's going into the city itself. I'm going to refer to Reef Square as the city centre for now, because it is. But eventually, like is it the CBD, Central Business District, whatever that stands for? That isn't Reef Square. That will be somewhere else. And that will be where the main city centre is and all the high-rise buildings and stuff like that. So right now, not worrying too much about what is and isn't the city centre. But yeah, the crossroad there, that's built just so that traffic doesn't have to use the roundabout. It can go straight on still. Only traffic that's turning down towards the waterfront here will use the roundabout, going to and from the waterfront. That made more sense in my head. Just made it easier to manage, basically. Again, let me know down below if you think that's a good idea. Let me know down below if you think that's a terrible idea. All suggestions at this point are valuable, basically. So do let me know what you think about this. Because I do actually use it in a couple of other places, I believe. Eventually, I think I'll replace it with the Overpass, Vanilla Overpass mod, I believe it's called, which I have now downloaded. I didn't have it at the time where I did this, so I couldn't use it. But I think it might make more sense to do it with that. I believe you can build tunnels with that now as well, instead of just bridges. If so, then that would be great. There's an opportunity. Now, yeah, again, these UK roads, it would have been nice if they had an asymmetric tree-lined avenue with like 3 lanes on one side and 2 on the other. I feel like it's a great mod. Don't get me wrong, or a great asset, I should say. But it feels lacking in some areas. And some of the road options are definitely limiting. It would be nice to have a 2-lane one-way road that doesn't have parking. It'd be nice to have all the the lane one-way roads that don't have parking. It'd be nice if it had asymmetric roads, more asymmetric roads, especially the tree-lined ones, because there are some, but they tend to be on the smaller side. It'd just be nice to have more options, to be honest. If the mod is watching, or the author is watching, sorry, not the mod. If the author is watching, that would be awesome. I don't know if there's any more on the way. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Who knows? Right, I'm going to let the music take over again for a short bit, just while I'm faffing around with traffic lights and stuff. I believe what comes up next is I start adding this new area, including things like the office space, residential. I think there's a little bit of commercial, but only a tiny bit. I think it's just an extension of the original commercial that was there. And you also see me faff around with the lane intersection marking tool. I think it's just called the intersection marking tool, isn't it? There's no lane in the name. But yeah, you'll see me mess around with that, trying to get it all to work and things like that. So enjoy the music again, and I'll be back again shortly. man, it's fascinating to see just how long I spent faffing around with all the traffic lights and intersection markings and things like that. I spent a long old time on all of that stuff. But we are now here in the new area of the city. I think I only do the first half today, and then the second half is the first part of next week. I'm trying to remember now. There's a whole thing, because I recorded all this over multiple days and then split it into episodes. Oh yeah, we had some issues with the lights here as well, so I go and extend the duration of each light cycle. I think I changed the way that the roundabout works as well, so that one lane goes straight on as well as turning left. I can't remember on that one, but I definitely increased the cycle. And this is where, again, having like 3-lane roads would have been nice. And I might have to upgrade to a different type of road for that section now. At least then I can use the overpass at that point as well if I have 6 lanes instead of 4. I think that would work quite well. But yeah, starting to build this area then. So I've got another junction here, which I end up decorating quite nicely, if I do say so myself. And I'm trying to use the road hierarchy tip that a lot of City Skylines players offer, which is start off with like 6 lanes, then it goes down to 4, then it goes down to 2. Try not to have any 2 lanes connected to 6 lanes, and always think about how your traffic is actually navigating through your city. Personally, I try and base it more on reality than just good principles. So yes, everything they're saying is correct. There's nothing incorrect about it. But at the same time, you know, walking around London, there is no like proper road hierarchy. They're kind of retconning it as we go. But a lot of it is just made up as we go along, to be honest. The Great Fire of London was a great opportunity to rebuild London, and they didn't take it. They basically just rebuilt it exactly as it was. So that's what we're now stuck with. But yeah, it is what it is. And I do use it as a basis for how I plan out my cities. Even though road hierarchy is better, it's still not as realistic as the real thing. So yeah, you can see I'm building all these messy... Oh god, I forgot how ugly that looked. Thankfully, again, node controller. Having slopes turned on, look how different that looks now. Just from ticking a couple of boxes here and there. And all of them go through. I hadn't realised how hilly this area was actually until I started building this section. Because obviously I flattened the other side for Reef Square. This side I didn't. So to actually see what it was actually like beforehand, it was kind of a wake-up call. That's for sure. I won't be coming around with the shovel again, flattening it all out. Because again, I think that was actually a mistake. I just wanted one bit flat. And then the rest could all be hilly. And then I kind of got carried away a little bit. And we ended up with everything being flat in this first part. And then everything being hilly everywhere else. Yeah, it is what it is. So we got this park area in the middle. You see that sort of rectangle with nothing inside it. That is going to remain probably not like a city park or, you know, an official designation or anything like that. But I do want it to have something inside it. Something touristy or something nice at least to get people to come over to this part of the city. It might just be a generic park. I don't know yet. It could just be a fake park. We'll just put some trees around it and stuff and make it look nice that way. I am waiting to get the tree brush tool, which I think is it expanded landscaping or something like that it's called, which I forgot to get first time around, but I will get it for the future. And that will help with just beautifying things a little bit more. Reef Square, the park itself, definitely needs beautifying. It needs more trees added, because right now it's a bit barren. Wherever there's no pathways and buildings, it's just empty. So we'll get the mod and we'll go around and we'll fix little things like that. Again, here we are building another one of these roundabouts, making sure that everything is connected up correctly, which I believe it now is, which is awesome. This is the only duplicate I think I've built where literally every part of the junction is identical to the other one. I'm pretty sure even the triangular junctions that I've built, they're all different sizes, different scales, different number of lanes, things like that. Whereas this is the only exact duplicate of any junction that I've built so far, which makes it really easy to copy and paste. some of the intersection markings over, as you see me doing here. And in fact, I'm able to do this. Actually, yeah, I think I do correct a little bit of it here. Oh, yeah, I remember what I do now. So it's not an exact duplicate because of the way the lines work. So I do, in fact, have the line here. Both lanes go straight on here. They don't... I'm trying to remember how to speak English. We've got the one here that turns left, but we have also got the one that goes straight on. What am I trying to say? The left-hand lane goes left and straight on. That's what I'm trying to say. That's how English is spoken. And yeah, you can see how it's all working now. It's not an exact duplicate. I made some fake history there. That wasn't good, was it? Wasn't very smart. But yeah, added the first one in. Then we went back and added the second one in. And then we tweak this one to make it how it's meant to look. And then we copy that back over to the first one. And then I believe... what do I use? Oh yeah, I just go and copy this one for the third one. That's how it works. There we go. And again, it's really, really nice, this tool. It's such a cool mod. I absolutely adore it. It works so well, and it looks so good when it's done. And, you know, that combined with Node Controller, I think, are my two favorite mods right now. Because people just, like, the way that AI vehicles just drive around, like it was done like this by design. It's really, really cool. Obviously, it is done this way by design, but you know what I mean. Like, the way that AI just follows where the road layout goes and things like that is so cool. I think here I'm just trying to get a grip on how the... Oh, I remember what I do here. I get my phone out and I take photos of how these lights work so that I could copy the exact sequence over. And again, I think it works. I don't see much traffic whenever I'm around this part. I haven't fully stress tested it yet. I very, very rarely play with the game unpaused. You can see I am at the moment, but more often than not, I play with it paused just to keep things, like, not moving, basically. Keep things static. And then, yeah, we come in and we add some offices to this new part of the city. Now, again, the main roads, I think I'm going to de-zone. Just so that all the buildings that spring up are actually in the bit that they're supposed to be in. And then the rest of it here is just, you know, I don't know where I'm going with this sentence either. It would be nice if I could use Rico, I suppose, and just plop some buildings down. But it would be nice if I could do something about these, like, one-tile areas to try and make it fit more buildings in more efficiently. Don't really know how to go about that, to be honest, but I'm sure I'll find a way. I do add a park there as well, just to increase the land value in this area. I add quite a large park, it seems, into this area just to increase the land value. And then go through and add some buildings around it. You can imagine, again, some Victorian or Georgian terraces kind of filling these gaps. And I will go around with Rico, and wherever there aren't any buildings, wherever there are gaps, I will go through and add some buildings just to fill in those gaps. And there's me saying about dezoning main roads. I do actually go and add some buildings onto these main roads. You can imagine living in a terrace house there that looks out across the water. I think that'd be very nice. And then the final thing that we do in this episode is we build this junction here. So again, this is for left turns only. And it's just to avoid having to go up to the lights and then making some weird U-turn-like shape. It just tidies things up a little bit more. And obviously this is all like on a hill, this area, so it looks a bit messy. I do go and tidy it up. Can't remember if I do that here or off camera or next episode, but I do tidy it up a little bit more. Make it look a little bit nicer. And I'm very pleased to say that it's, again, really nice junction. One of my favourites, in fact. The way that it all works out. But yeah, we're coming up towards the end of the episode, guys. I'm struggling to think of a format for these episodes right now. They're basically just I build what I like and then I talk about it after. I've been watching a few time-lapse series for Skylines, and a lot of it is literally just I'm expanding a district today. Okay, that district's expanded, so now I'm going to go and expand this one, and then I'm going to build a train station, and you know, it is kind of all over the place. So I don't feel too bad by doing that. But next episode is a little bit more streamlined, I want to say. Although again, I'm starting to think, is that true? But yeah, I think it's a little more streamlined. We focus a lot more on Reef Square in the transit hub. We do come back over here and we add the other offices in. And we are getting to a point now where we're almost ready to start thinking about transport. One of the reasons I'm holding back still is I'm waiting for the airport's DLC to come out, and at that point we will start, building an airport, or at least using the new tools that come with the airport, and then eventually we'll build the airport. It'll be that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm going to leave you to watch me just mess up this intersection as well. I'm going to do my outro now because I'm going to cringe watching this back. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And of course, if you enjoyed this series so far, drop some comments down below with the ideas for future episodes. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support. And until next time, I will see you soon.